It's like I can't walk on the ceiling. Oh yeah, got me dreaming, dreaming in colors I never dreamed in. Oh yeah, I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed. Skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, magic. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed. Skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Welcome to Radical Truth to Power, the progressive news show with Let's BS3. I am your host, Marlon Clyburn, along with Tracy Carson. AITAH is on the way. Theus Robinson, we don't know yet. Today, we're going to go ahead and get into the Ralph Yarl shooting. And the reason why I held on this story for as long as I did is because there were similar stories just like this that just so happened to be in the same week or very least the same month of this situation. So I wanted to show that not only is this not actually a isolated incident, like they always try to make it like it's a one-time thing, this don't normally happen, blah, blah, blah. But it's a situation that's occurred across the country. So I just wanted to get in, get into that. Also, surprisingly enough, as the day progressed, I found yet another candidate for the worst person of the year. And we're going to go ahead and look it back today, along with Am I the A-hole and Real or Nah. Besides that, how you doing, Tracy?
Another one. I'm doing great, everybody. How's everybody doing? It's just good to be here.
Yeah, that's good. As always, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. We would truly appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get this party started. what's up,
Hey, Parker.
Parker?
He's the first one in.
Yeah, like he's the only one in. But it's Sunday. It's usually like that, but I'm used to it. Oh,
There's
no.
somebody else.
Oh, here's Mickey. Hello, Mickey. So let's just go ahead and get into it, the Ralph Yarl shooting. I want you to pay really close attention to one part of the story. And I want you to pay attention to what happened after Mr. Yarl got shot. When he was going to the neighbors and things like that. What happened afterwards? I really want you to pay attention to that part. Remember that part, because I got a video that I'm going to play immediately after this video. That's just speaks volumes about this country. So let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, and now that we have Anna on, let's go ahead and get into it.
In Clay County say 85-year-old Andrew Lester faces 1 count of assault in the first degree and 1 count of armed criminal action. And they add there was a, quote, racial component in this shooting of a teenage boy who family says made a simple mistake and went to the wrong home.
If we don't get it, shut it down!
Tonight, after days of protests demanding justice, the Kansas City homeowner, who families say shot 16-year-old Ralph Yarl twice for ringing the wrong doorbell, faces criminal charges.
I can assure you that the criminal justice system is working and will continue to work. As with any serious case, we approached this one in an objective and impartial manner.
He has the times where it's like, why? I did nothing wrong. Why?
Dr. Faith Spoonmore says her nephew was trying to pick up his younger twin brothers from a friend's house Thursday night when he mistakenly went to the wrong home. Civil rights attorney Lee Merritt says Ralph rang the doorbell and waited.
And he was confronted by a man who told him, "Don't come back around here." And then he immediately fired his weapon, striking Mr. Yarl in the head. He went to the ground and then he was shot a second time.
Merritt adding Ralph was able to run for help after being shot and says Ralph knocked on multiple doors before a neighbor answered and ordered the boy to lie on the ground and put his hands up.
Ralph decided to comply and essentially lose consciousness after that, which is what allowed him to get medical treatment.
The shooting sparking outrage on social media, Hollywood heavyweights like Viola Davis and Halle Berry demanding charges. Fueling that fury, police taking the homeowner into custody and 24 hours later, they say, releasing them without charges. Prosecutors now say the charges followed a thorough review of the case police put together.
As the prosecutor of Clay County, I can tell you there was a racial component to the case.
They add the felony charges filed against Andrew Lester carry a potential sentence of up to life in prison. A warrant issued immediately for the 85-year-old's arrest.
It's been my goal from the very beginning to get justice for the child involved in the case.
Tonight, the family says Ralph, a marching band standout with dreams of studying chemical engineering, is healing.
He's alive. I think that's the biggest message that I want people to remember, is that he is alive.
Prosecutors in Kansas City said today they also did not pursue hate crime charges because in this case, under Missouri law, they say those charges would have come with a shorter sentence. And then,
so let me give you a little update on the situation. He's doing fantastic. He is far from out of the woods, Mr. Ralph Yarl. But he's doing a lot better. I damn near call it a miracle. Because he is the time frame from the time the incident happened till right now. Yeah, that's something we normally don't see. We see months and months and months and months being in the hospital. This young man right now is sitting on somebody's porch taking pictures. So he is doing tremendous. That is a blessing, and I'm greatly happy that he's doing a whole lot better, especially from a situation that could have went tremendously sideways. Well, more, because this went sideways off the bat. Now, before we even get into this, did y'all pay attention to what happened when they said after he got shot, he went to neighbors, blah, 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 and everything else? You heard that part. One of the neighbors told him to get down on the ground and put his hands up. Well, apparently not.
About this, there's something not right. So I was like, screw this, and I went out in my pajamas and bare feet. As soon as I opened the door, I saw blood everywhere. I told my son, I go, oh, he's been shot. I was like, there's blood everywhere. So I went outside trying to dodge the blood that was all over my door, my front door, inside and outside my store door, my railing, my porch, all the way down the stairs, out the drive, and it was pooling underneath them. And I was like, what happened? And they're like, he's been shot. I was like, what's your name? He said, my name's Ralph.
Let me cut in real quick. At this point in time, not a freaking tear, okay? I'm just letting you know, you may not be able to see it, but there's nothing falling from her eyes that we describe as tears. So let's continue.
I was like, okay. And the neighbor's like, who shot you? And he said, the neighbor over there. And he told us that he was supposed to be picking up his little brothers. And we're like, where are your little brothers? And he said the address and said Terrace. I was like, oh shit, this is street. Then the next thing I was like, I waved at my son. I was like, bring some towels out. Give me a couple clean bath towels. And he ran. Sorry. He ran them out. And the gentleman that jumped the fence on the next street over, he was on the ground with me. And he's like, he's holding his hands and he's like, how are you feeling? Do you feel cold? He's like, I'm very alert. I'm like, okay. I go, what school do you go to? As we were putting the towel, I go, we're going to lift your head up slowly. We're going to put the towel down to apply some pressure to the wound. And he goes, I've been shot in the head and the arm. He goes, I just went over there, rang the doorbell. And the guy shot me in the head. I was like, what school do you go to? He goes, Staley. I was like, that's cool, because my son graduated from there. I go, do you play sports? I was just trying to keep him calm. Because he's like,
Yeah,
You're muted, Anna.
You
I
kind
was
of
trying to tell Marlon that he was muted.
you get the point. We live in a society in this country where people are so toxic, low. I can't think of more words that we haven't used already. That you would take advantage of this situation. Because I'm gonna tell you truthfully. I'm sorry to even say this, but I'm telling you truthfully why she even would dare to do this. That's a better word. Why she would dare to say this blatant lie out in public. Because she didn't expect Ralph to live. So it would have been her word against somebody who's no longer here. So nobody was going to be able to refute it. And if you see the comments on it, because this is from TMZ, thanks TMZ for that video, This is from TMZ, and I just had to go in and read the comments. Oh, bless her heart. Oh, that's a good neighbor. Oh, please stop crying. Please understand that this is not your fault. Please be this is, and I'm like, y'all don't actually do any type of research at all. Y'all take a white woman at face value for not lying to get some type of kudos, some type of pat on the back. I don't know exactly what she's getting from this, but she's getting something that's not earned. And I would go as far as, I don't even know if she's one of the neighbors. Ralph's attorney said that Ralph told him the neighbor came out, told him to lay on the ground and put his hands up. He didn't say which neighbor it was, so I'm inclined to even want to know if this is even one of the neighbors. Or this is some lady that saw this whole incident out her window and went, this is a chance for me to get famous. And his internet must have went out. Tracy?
The Oscar for Best Actor Female goes to that lady. I agree if you make it attempted murder should be the charge. How? And the way that they phrased it, I don't know if you're going to play this or not. He was a large black man.
He was a 6 foot tall
black
large man, and he pulled on the screen door. Because we had that comment too. I don't believe the boy, the man. I don't believe the man because it looked like he was trying to break in. I'm like, dude, I don't know if you know how breaking in works. Nobody breaks in by ringing the doorbell, knocking on the door.
If he were that scared, he would have called the police. He simply would have went in his room, locked the door. About what happened. She wasn't telling you what happened.
Sorry. She was the one that went out and comforted him and put towels under his head and took care of him and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, because you may not have saw it, meanwhile, y'all's attorney said he told him when he finally got a neighbor to answer the door because he knocked on several doors and was ignored. When he said he finally got somebody to answer the door, they just told him to lay on the ground and put your hands up. That was it. So all this lady go get towels and I'm talking to you to comfort you and keep you calm and what school did you go to and blah, blah. Obviously, none of that happened.
Yeah, I'm going to believe Ralph in this instance.
Yeah, you think? And just over a week, we've seen stories of innocent people shot.
The cheerleader that went to the wrong. Oh my goodness! Yep. If he were that scared, he would have called the police.
Oh yeah, that was it. It was I was also confused why she didn't mention calling 911
right away. Which is what if I saw somebody bleeding in my door? Well, gee, I don't know. I'm gonna call 911 first and then try to help. Oh no, that's just me.
Well, here's the part that I did cut out because I give her as much as I'd still say this is a blatant lie. I cut out the beginning of it because the beginning of it was that somebody did knock on her door. It was Ralph Yarl. She did call 911. Hey, welcome back, Anna. She did call 911. They kept saying, don't let him in. There's an active shooter in the area. Don't let him in. And she kept looking and all this other stuff. And the dispatcher just kept saying, do not let him in. Do not let him in. There's an active shooter. And she said, when that part that you heard, there's something wrong, which is there's something wrong. There's something wrong is when she was saying that he walked away from the house, got down on his knees, spread his arm out, and then she said, well, enough is enough. Now I have to go out there and help. Darn the dispatcher.
I
I'm a
want to hear the
concerned
tape.
citizen now of the United States of America. I'm going out there and help. Darn my safety.
I want the tape. I want to hear the tape of them saying active shoot, which they might have said that, but I want to hear the tape because I believe no words this woman is saying. None. Zero. I believe he got shot. That part I believe, but her being
She
the
said,
compassionate. So no, girl, bye.
uh, let me say, also, how is someone even able to physically walk to another person's house when they have been shot twice?
He was.
That actually was true.
That part is
He
true. He walked to
really
several
said that he
houses.
went to 3 and 4 houses. And I
Yeah.
guess the 4th house was the one that told him to get down on the ground, put your hands up. But he did knock on 3 or 4
Can
houses. That's
you
from
arrest the whole
Ralph himself.
neighborhood? That's my question. Can you arrest all the neighborhood, or is that like even possible? Because this whole neighborhood's got problems. You gonna tell somebody who's been shot, lay on the ground and put your hands up? Oh, okay.
Until he lost consciousness. I forgot to add that part to it, by the way. So I don't want nobody to think he had his hands up the whole time until the police came. No, he laid down and put his hands up until he lost consciousness.
And Parker, it's physically able, we are physically able to do this when we have had a severe trauma, because our brain, when we are in that fight, flight mode, our brain is getting rushed with cortisol and other stress hormones.
Adrenaline.
That's what makes you, adrenaline, that's what makes the difference between being able to run from a bear, if you're actually in a forest with a bear, but we all have the same exact response, this trauma response to something that ignites the flight or fight response. And it is just get yourself to safety or destroy what is in front of you or go down trying.
We have seen plenty of
Because
stories
it is
of
a life or death.
yeah, we have seen plenty of stories of mothers who've gotten into car accidents. Their baby is still in the car, and those women was able to lift a 1-ton vehicle up to save their child. It's
One of the most incredible stories I heard was actually about a Tsar of Russia, the father of the last Tsar of Russia. Um, his family was in a train accident. This man lifted a train car up so his family could fly to safety. That's what happens when your brain is pumping with this stuff. You can do superhuman things.
yeah.
But here's
And
my
when you
question. Here's my I
Mhm.
didn't mean to interrupt you guys.
Go ahead.
So the man, the little racist man who shot Ralph, doesn't think, gee, let me call the ambulance, the police because I just shot somebody. He never thought of this. It was like, yeah, I agree with Mickey. This should be attempted murder because he knew what he was doing. And when your family says you're racist, I'm done. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm like, well, that's it.
we got a whole background. I haven't got the ex-wife thinks he needs to go to jail. She's already said that. Do you think he needs to go to jail? Yes, he needs to go to jail.
Yes.
He's been like this.
Prison.
Prison. Yes, prison. Um, we all seen this. We all seen the grandson's video. If you haven't already, yeah, he said, yeah, he's racist. He's been like that all my life.
He watched Fox all day long, and really, I think this. I was talking with Mama Lorraine the other day, probably yesterday, that this is a perfect example for a class action suit against Fox, because this is what happens when you make everybody afraid.
Hold that thought, Anna. Hold that thought. Because that just goes into what the next video that I want to show is. that this was not an isolated incident like everybody's trying to make it out to be.
The epidemic of so-called wrong address shootings has shaken the nation.
God forbid you ring the wrong doorbell, getting into the wrong car, or just for stepping onto their damn property.
All this violence is making parents afraid, but also very, very angry.
There's the 6-year-old shot in the cheek by a neighbor, angry that a basketball rolled onto his lawn. He surrendered to police today after fleeing to Florida. And 20-year-old Kaylin Gillis, who was shot to death after driving down the wrong driveway in upstate New York. She was buried today. And cheerleader Peyton Washington, who was shot in the back when another cheerleader accidentally opened the door of the wrong car in a parking lot in Austin.
When you are constantly, blatantly bashed over the head to fear everything, and that fear turns into hate, and hate turns into I'm going to defend myself by any means necessary, the shoot first and ask questions later type mentality, better than you than me mentality. This is what you get. This is exactly what you get. And I don't even know if I'm more sick of the people who are just feeling like anything that's their property. I have grew up on turning around in people's parking lot. There has never been a fear of me dying because of it. Not once. The worst case scenario is somebody coming to the window, because I do it too, of somebody coming to the window going, okay, just making sure that you turning around. Okay, you done. All right. That's the worst thing I've had. Now I have to fear, hell, I might as well just go all the way to the end of the street and make a U-turn in the middle of the street. And I'm not even doggone convinced that's safe. And my neighborhood is very protective of the people who stay here. Why? I have absolutely no idea. Because I don't remember us actually holding a big hoo-ha conversation with each other. But trust me, if somebody that they don't know is parked in my driveway and they look out and they see who it is and they don't recognize them, my mom even said this, that the car slows down and just look. She's like, who are these people? I have absolutely no idea. But they know who stays here. Well, apparently it works. That said, fantastic. That's a great deterrent for robbers, for people breaking into your house. At no point do I want somebody to get shot because they use my driveway to do a U-turn. Please don't. It ain't that big of a deal to me. It really isn't. But no, we got Fox that you people quite honestly, and I can't even believe who watches it for hours on end, telling you who's the next boogeyman that you need to be afraid of. And then to go as completely as far as to say, and remember, it's you or them. Fox, OAN, whatever, the Newsmax. This is the next boogeyman. This is who you need to watch out for. And it's either you or them. Now, we made it real easy for you to get guns, so you shouldn't have a problem protecting yourself. And we have people that's getting shot for doing U-turns. We have people who are getting shot for knocking on the wrong door. Oh, by the way, the guy that shot him has pleaded not guilty.
He pleaded what?
Not guilty. He's already been in, and he's already
Thank
been.
you, Anna, because I would have wanted to say it, but I don't cuss, but thank you. Because I'm still sitting there like, he pleaded what?
He pleaded not guilty.
Under what? If you're that scared, I'm going to say this again. If somebody comes bamming at your door Pick up the phone and call 911. You
Here's
don't go to the
another
door.
tidbit.
You don't start
Here's another
shooting.
tidbit. Remember, Ralph said that the guys came to the door and said, "Don't come around here anymore," and
Yeah,
then
so he
start
could have
following.
just ended.
Okay, the guy said nothing was said.
He's alive. I'm believing Ralph. I'm gonna believe Ralph.
Here's the bad thing about it, Tracy. I actually want to look at the guy and go, "Why do you think that's better?" Because what you're saying is you just walked up to the door and started firing. Do you hear how that's more psychotic? You just walked up to the door.
And then Fox starting to have pity on him. Oh, look, he's so old. I don't care how old you are. Well, you can spend the rest of your life in jail. I don't care. Look at these tears not rolling. I don't care.
Right to Anna speaking truth. I'm lucky. Hi, folks. Hey,
Hey,
Susan.
Susan.
How's the
Missed you
garden coming
yesterday.
along? Susan it's gardening season right now, and Susan gardens and falls out, so we may not see her very little this summer. That 20-year-old who was murdered for pulling the wrong driveway happened here. Oh no. Rural, no lights on the roads, mostly private driveways, a very long, solid red area, gun worshiping right wing. She buzz.
You don't shoot people for pulling in your driveway.
No.
Let them pull in there. Let them,
What is your danger? Just explain to me what was your. Somebody pulls into your driveway
or knocks at your door.
Where did you feel danger at? What was the threat? Did they get out the car? No. Because you shot through the car. This is just my guess, but the people who shot these kids probably didn't even have a serious mental health diagnosis. Some people don't need to have guns, even if they are technically mentally well.
Apparently.
Say that again to the people in the back. Yeah. Yes.
Grandpa Ray's is out here talking about don't come right here and then you gonna shoot. You could have just, I don't know, again, called the police. Why is this not an option? Why is calling the police not an option? Why? You call when black people have barbecues. You call when black people have dances. You couldn't have called on this. You didn't even think. You just said, okay, let me get my gun and take care of it. What are, oh my gosh.
Even when he shot him, and he still could have called the police.
He could have called after, been like, "Hey, I have to shoot an intruder." Nope, he didn't even do that.
Right.
He gonna plead not guilty. I hope they find him guilty in 3 minutes. I hope the whole trial takes 3.5 minutes. Period. I want him to get on the stand. Oh, please let him get on. Please let him testify on his own behalf. Please, 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 please. That's what I want.
And I told you again, his nothing was said, dude. That makes you look worse. That literally makes you look worse. That literally means you open your door, saw this dude, shot him. It went into his head. He falls down. You shoot him again.
And the fact that he's still living
and driving.
That to me is just, like you said, it's nothing short of a miracle. Nothing short. Because that Grandpa KKK meant to kill him. That's what that was his aim, to kill him.
And what does Tucker Carlson take on all of this?
Oh, God.
Oh, don't play him, Mark. Please don't, because I'm a
I ain't playing that, man. I told you, he ain't coming on this show no more. Unless he said something really stupid. Which he didn't. This time, he was just being the white supremacist,
that he is?
that we know and love.
We love? Well, okay, I guess I got it.
No, I didn't mean to say that. We know. And
that we love to hate.
There you go. And so what is his take on it? It isn't about the shooting. And we got to keep our minds because we don't know all the facts yet. They always like to do that when we actually do have pretty much all the facts. We don't have all the facts yet. And Biden did invite Ralph Yarl to the White House. But here comes Biden dividing the country again because the little white girl that got shot, Biden didn't say anything about him. So what is it that Biden always want to talk about the black kids getting shot, but he don't want to talk about the white kids getting shot? And my thing that I always like to tell you is, excuse me, are you actually saying that a whole bunch of people are still getting shot, but you're more concerned about who gets invited to the White House?
They'll do anything to distract. Here's what I'll say about Fox News and its viewers. They will do anything to distract from issues. They don't have any. And for the people who watch Fox, you're literally watching a network that admitted to lying about the election, but you're okay with that. Hey, what you do, when you see me cross the street, because I don't wish you no ill harm, I don't wish you nothing bad, but just stay up. You stay over there and let me stay over here, because I can't with you. I cannot. I can't. You're watching a network that will really lie to your face, and you're okay with this, and you're watching it hour after hour after hour after hour. Go volunteer. Go to the zoo. Go to the library.
I'm trying to figure this out.
How many times did she type it? Oh, cat set on keyboard.
Oh God. It's almost like one of them jokes that write itself. Oh goodness. We don't have all the facts. We know what happened and it looks bad for us.
Yep.
Yeah. That's exactly what it looks like. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. And they have to walk a tight-knit rope because they have to turn it into a racial equality by introducing Biden.
Yeah, because he only listens to the black people. Yeah, he's really listening to us.
Yeah, he really on our side.
Come on.
Hey, woohoo. So why didn't Biden agree to have the black kid get invited to the White House and not the one that got shot in the driveway?
Because she died. I mean, unfortunately, she passed away from her injuries.
It is unfortunate, but who are you inviting?
And let's just say he invited like her parents or her surviving family members, and he didn't invite the black child. You know what they would have said?
Not a damn thing.
No, yeah, they would have. Biden is racist.
They wouldn't have said.
Oh, yeah, they would have. They could have got one of their token black hosts. Like, Biden is so racist. I don't see why the black community supports him. Look at what he did. Trust and believe they would have did it. They would have did it.
I'm not saying you wrong on it. I just don't think they care enough to actually do that.
They're not gonna say, you're not gonna hear Tucker Carlson saying it, but trust me, they're gonna pull out one of they black ones. One of them, because there's only two of them at the whole network. They're gonna pull out one or the other. Guaranteed what happened. How did he?
Thought it might be the cat. Cats don't appreciate the spelling critique they got last time. Hey. I don't understand either, but then again, I don't understand cats. So yeah. Whatever you say.
It's okay, you're not supposed to.
You know what the funny thing about cats? I don't understand cats, and cats don't give a damn if I understand them or not anyway, because they're cats. You ain't got to understand me. All you got to do is feed me and shut up. Pretty much a cat's life.
You understand cats. Look at that.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
can't get
maybe
quite
I
a
do.
picture.
I thought the right wing didn't like it when people try to politicize shootings, but they are okay with deflecting the point of talking about who Biden does or does not invite to the White House, which sounds like politicizing.
Again, this is the network that lies to their viewers' face, and their viewers are okay with it. Why are you watching Fox News? They are liars.
Hey, LL, because he knows he's in hot water with the black voters, he's trying to manufacture support.
He could, but you know.
I think there's one of these situations, LL. I agree, but to a point, is for Biden at this point, because you, like I said, doggone well, I always look at the cynical things of everything now. Been here for 51 years, can't help it. He literally may have just seen this as a twofer. He wants to talk, he wants to get in with the black voters for sympathy, and he wants to talk about gun control. Twofer.
Has he announced his
Next week.
re-election
Tuesday.
Yeah, they think it's going to be Tuesday.
What the hell is with Tuesdays?
Well, it's not Monday. It's not Wednesday. It's not Thursday. It's not Friday.
Like, why do everybody got to make reports on Tuesdays? It's not going to work, though. No, it's not going to work.
It never. Well, I ain't gonna say it never has worked.
I ain't gonna say it never worked. He 0.5% up on it, but no, man, come on. I am not a cat. Susan, it's time for you to go back to sleep.
No.
Noted. All right, well, that is our first hour. We're actually under, and Anna came late, so I have to tell her this so we can get on into the second hour. The second hour, we do have a Am I the A-hole? Unfortunately, and when Tracy made the face, apparently that means unfortunately. I actually found the next candidate for the worst person of the year.
Thank you, Anna, for having the same face that I made.
But but I can give you especially for Anna, I can tell you it's somewhat good news because this story is actually coming from Dusty Thunder's YouTube channel. He's the one that's telling the story. He also has his wife on the show too. For anybody who don't know Dusty Thunder podcast, he does Reddit reports and he's very good at it. He gives out great advice afterwards. And he has blown up tremendously because this guy is on YouTube, TikTok Live, in which he puts it on YouTube. So for anybody that's complaining about our 2.5, 3 hour long video, he does 2-hour videos of just reading stories and reading comments and answering questions and everything else. But he also just so happened to have the next candidate for the worst person of the year.
Is it worse than yesterday?
I don't know, Tracy. I honestly don't know.
Because if it's worse than yesterday,
I don't know if anything can beat yesterday.
I'm like, that's got to be the winner,
Don't say that yet.
How worse could it get? How worse?
I never asked if it can get worse. How worse? It will.
Yeah.
As I said.
Every time you keep saying nothing can get worse than this. Yeah. Every time you say nothing can be worse than that. Well, oh my God. Next thing you know, yep, here we go. So we're going to go ahead and take our early 3-minute break to reboot and refresh. We will return with Am I the A-hole? Next candidate for the worst person of the year and Foxy's videos of the week. Stay tuned. We will be right back. If I can actually find our outro song, here we go.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, I always say dreaming, never imagine I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground. I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, higher to a bird. You, I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, finally.
We are back, and as usual, let's go ahead and pay those bills. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/a better Tracy Media page. Help support Tracy in all of her endeavors. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/a complex mind. Help support Thea's in all of his endeavors. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/a radical truth to power, exactly the way it's spelled, capital R, capital T, capital T, capital P. Help support me in all of my endeavors. Please do not forget to go to AITAH Heart's website, BorelliEtc.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. And as always, if you want to drop me a line, a Mafia video of the week, or just whatever, you could do so at radtp@outlook.com. That's RADTP@outlook.com. I don't have. It took a doggone 3 years, so I stopped saying something about it. It took 3 years. I'm done. People say he's going to announce on Tuesday because it will be the 4th year exactly marking since when he announced his 2020 run for the president. Parker agrees with me and Elma. It can always get worse. And Susan says, I'm going to wallow in potential worrishness during the break. Let's go ahead and just skip it then. The worst person of the year candidate. Give it to us by Dusty Thunder website. I will post his channel down below right after this because I like promoting this dude. This is a good dude. So here it is, Dusty Thunder podcast with the next candidate for the worst person of the year.
All right. My 28 female sister, 35 female, is demanding I either abort or let her adopt my baby. Demanding?
Oh, just wait.
I don't like it. I, 28 female, am currently 19 weeks pregnant. My partner, 29 male, and I are very excited as this is our first baby and we've been trying for a few months. We announced the pregnancy a month ago at a dinner party we hosted, and everyone seemed surprised and overjoyed. My sister, 35 female, who I will call Kay, immediately burst into tears and asked me how I could do this to her. I stared at her and asked, "What?" She started ranting, saying that I always got everything I wanted, which is not true. I worked hard for all that I have, and that she knew I got pregnant just so I could rub her infertility in her face. She screamed at me for 5 minutes about how I didn't deserve to be a mother and how she should be the one pregnant right now. My parents left with her soon after, and the party was basically over. I was really disturbed by my sister's actions because we had been pretty close before, and she had never done anything like this. Kay called me the next day, apologizing for how she acted at my announcement and asked if we could meet up for coffee. I accepted. We met up and she pretended as if nothing had happened. Then she started a big speech about her infertility, how heartbreaking it is to be growing life inside of her just to lose it, and how she always wanted children of her own. She then proceeded to ask me if I could consider getting an abortion to make things fair, or letting her adopt my baby. I stared at her and asked if she was serious. Kay said she was. I just dropped my part of the bill on the table and left. What the f***?
Yeah.
This is f***ed up. Elle texted me a rant that night about how I made Kay cry and how all they wanted was to be parents and that this meant so much to them and I owed them for being more successful than them. I and my partner invested many years into our jobs and we have worked very hard to earn what we have now. I told them that my partner and I had been hoping for kids too and I was not giving up my baby. He hung up. She later sent me a long letter, 4 pages, about how she had always wanted to be a mother and could I consider either abortion or letting her adopt my baby, how I should care about my older sister's happiness, how she would make a better mom, how the oldest kid should have the first grandchild, and how I could always just have another baby since it was so easy for me to conceive. Oh, this is going in a very dangerous direction. After that, she quieted down some, and I thought we were done with this, except it wasn't. She had posted my sonogram on her Facebook and captioned it, "Elle and I are expecting. We can't wait to meet our little princess." Dude, this is heading in a very dangerous direction very rapidly. I was seeing...
Do you want to stop and just go to the next story?
No.
Oh, okay. You seem really upset.
Well, I am upset. This is disturbing. I was seeing red. I texted her and demanded she takes the post down. No reply. I texted Elle. No reply. So I called my mother and told her what happened. She was able to make Kay take the post down. Luckily enough. Kay has called me petty for calling my mom and has continued to demand I give up my baby. I sent her a letter explaining that I had had enough of her nonsense. I am keeping my baby and that I recommend she get some help. I added that if she continues, I will not hesitate to call 999. What is 999?
Maybe the version of 911 somewhere
For wherever they are?
Yeah. I don't know. People in the captions will, or people in the comments will let us know.
This weekend, however, was the absolute last straw. My mom and dad had the spare key to my house, and while she was over at their house for brunch, she took the key. While my partner and I were at work, she broke into our house, stole all of the clothing, blankets, nappies, bottles, and pretty much any other item that we had bought for the baby except furniture. It was later returned after my mom found it in her car. I called 999, but they told me I couldn't do anything because they had no proof and because it was all returned. My partner and I are moving in April, but I'm scared my sister will find out where we live and take my child. I get that she's upset and jealous due to her infertility, but that shouldn't mean I have to give up my baby. My parents know about this, and they've been doing their best to get her some help. She doesn't want to adopt because she wants a child that's her own flesh and blood. I'm due in August, and the stress she's causing cannot and will not be good for me or the baby. My partner is looking into a cease and desist letter. Is there anything else I should do or say?
She's not the worst. She's terrible. She terrible, but she nowhere near yesterday's chick. Yesterday's chick was gone. Gone.
See, here's the deal. First of all, let me go ahead and put Dusty's page up if anybody wants to go check him out. Like I said, it's a good dude. He has phenomenal stories. Second of all, the best I can literally do is a tie, and I'm gonna tell you why before anybody says anything. It's a tie, but it really isn't. Yesterday, she was evil. Like
Evil.
Evil.
Yeah, like cartoonish evil.
Yeah. This lady needs help.
Yeah, she needs
like
help.
She seriously, and we joke about it in this world and everything else. Sometimes we make, "Ooh, you crazy." No, this woman needs to be put somewhere in a room with the only person you talk to are doctors type of you need help. Because
she doesn't want to adopt because she wants the child to be her flesh and blood, but she has fertility issues. She wants her sister to either abort the baby or give it to her. What?
There's a second part of it that I didn't want to play because it was just going too long and it was an update. But
she ended up cutting her out of her life and saying, "Girl, bye."
Nope. They actually had to wind up going get a restraining order. She called the sister called the second time and said either abort, have me the baby, or at the very least pay for our fertility treatments. All of it.
She need her and her partner, husband, spouse, whatever needs help. Because she done worked him or her into this mess.
It wows up that the OP and the husband had to move. And even threatened the grandparents that here's our new number, here's where we stand. If she finds out by you, you would never see your grandchild again. They agreed. So, yeah, it's...
Oh my goodness. No, she's not worse than yesterday. Yesterday's chick was... She was in that land of never good... she was gone. Gone.
How can someone reach that age and not be aware that there are actually other people in the world? Mickey, it was started on me. Remember the story of last year or the year before? Trust me, you won't forget it. Because that was the one where the lady lost her child. So she made the decision that anybody under the age of 3, she ain't want to hang around. She ain't going to the party. You can't invite her to any place she's going to be. And blah, blah, blah. And I kept telling people, because I even told Foxy, she is saying this, but you realize that until she gets help, it's going to get worse and worse and worse every year. Because why she said 3 years old is because she lost a child 3 years ago. Well, then what happens when you find out, when it's 4 years ago and 5 years ago and so on and so forth, to the point where, okay, now we in no teens can come because now you're on 13th
18.
year.
You better not be 18.
21. It's like, how far are we going to take this? So, yeah, there are people who just, all they see is themselves and the misery that they go through, which is understandable. It is a miserable situation to go through. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not saying that it's sad. I'm not saying that it's devastating in your life. I'm not saying any of those things. What I am saying is you have no right, however, to dictate other people's lives because of what happened to you. And if you feel that you do, this is the part where I tell you, you need to go get help. You have no right. to dictate people's lives because of what happened to you.
Get an
They'll-
abortion so we can be on even stance, or
so we
get
can
the
be
baby.
equal.
Girl, little girl, stop.
OMG, no, she did not post it on Facebook claiming it was her own baby. Oh, yeah. That is a real lunatic stuff. We need Tracy's signature. What's wrong with people? Tracy, you didn't use that one.
I didn't, because this lady is she's still not as worse as yesterday person. She's in the top 5 so far. But nah.
We got some whew.
She just needs help. Seriously needs help.
And the sad part about the people who need help are the ones who really don't think they need help.
And she roped her spouse into this. Her spouse is calling and saying, hey, abort the baby or give it to us for adoption.
Yeah.
That's what really worried me is, okay, she has lost touch with reality. Somehow you got your partner, whether you lied to him and said that she agreed to give or whatever, I don't think that he was firing on all cylinders either.
It is the concept of this is what my wife wants. And whatever it is my wife wants, that's what I want.
He should have told her, since he is, when you marry somebody, you're responsible for telling that person, hey, you need help.
Oh, I agree with you.
That's your number one responsibility. Not number one, but close.
When you become an intimate partner, I would say you have crossed into that line already. Yes.
When you become one with somebody else, your number one priority, they take care of you, you take care of them. And it goes back and forth anyway. Now, hear what I'm saying, because somebody you take care of them does not mean you do exactly what they say at all times. No. So when I say you take care of them, that includes, hey, you're acting a little crazy. This ain't normal. You have gone through a traumatic experience, and I think you need to go talk to somebody about it.
Yeah, she done roped him or this other person into her deep. She's obviously depressed. I mean, it's not the other sister's fault that she can't have kids. Like,
doesn't matter. Like I said, it's the deal of I'm miserable. I've been through a traumatic experience, and I want the world to evolve around my traumatic experience to, even in a small little niche, make me feel a little bit better. So even if I was to try to guilt trip you into saying, hey, either you need to get rid of the baby so we will be equal, which is kind of stupid considering, okay, so if you have a baby, doesn't that make you unequal again? But whatever. Or I adopt a baby, which again, if you adopt a baby, would that make you unequal again? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot, because there may have been a part that you missed. The unfair part is because the oldest daughter, was supposed to have the baby first. I don't know where the hell that's written.
I don't know where that rule is. Yeah, what book is that in?
I don't know where that's written.
Yeah, what did you say? Where?
The oldest daughter is supposed to have a baby first.
I mean, that is indicate. Okay, yeah, there's a whole Bible story, so I might well go ahead and say it. If you read the book of Genesis, there is a story between two sisters, one named Leah, one named Rachel. Rachel being the pretty one, Leah having an issue with her eyes. So Isaac, or was it Jacob? No, Isaac, yep, that's right, I think. Worked 7 years to marry Rachel. Rachel was the younger one. So Laban, the father, says, hey, that's not the way it's supposed to go. Well, backtrack. He slept with Leah, the girl with the issue with the eyes first. I'm not sure how he didn't know the difference between the two sisters, but it was nighttime and they had no lights back then. So
the story that the elder sister was sent in instead. It was already dark, so of course we couldn't tell.
Yeah. So
I actually do know this story.
Yeah. And so he said, hey, no, it's the tradition that the older sister gets married before the younger sister, although technically that ain't the... Yeah, that's where it comes from, but it's not an actual... The father made it up to get 14 years out of him, basically. And Marlon disappears, so where he is. So at this point in time, I'm going to talk about how do you sit there and say, yeah, but you do.
Sorry, had to say good night to people. Sorry.
You sit here and say,
You're
geez,
supposed
sister.
to see that the father was acting unreasonably. That is one of the morals of that story.
Yeah, that was how moral
He
Laban was across. Yeah, he lied. That's the point.
I was married to a narcissist for 20 years. If it's a narcissistic personality disorder, they literally do not recognize that there are other people in the world. It's mind-boggling. I remember that. Yeah, that man probably has too much of a fear of losing his relationship with the crazy woman, so he just went along with it and
It's
asked his
other women in the
abort
sea.
the baby
Get somebody
or
else.
give it to them. Was this story am I the a-hole or real or not? It was neither. This was worst person of the year candidate. However, we are going to move on, and I'm going to give the panel a choice. I could play two of them. I could play one of them. It depends on you. We're like way ahead of the time scale. So if I can play,
we've got time.
Yeah. So here we go. Your choices is my wife is not a princess, my son got a job without telling me, or my brother married his daughter's bully's mom.
I'm going to go with the second one. Because the last one is confusing me.
In other words, the daughter had a bully.
The daughter had a bully. Then
the daughter had a bully, and the father married the bully's
mom.
mother.
What a... Okay. I'll go with whatever Anna says.
You asked for the number 2. I'll go with that.
Okay.
My son got a job without telling me.
Yeah.
Okay. My son got a job without telling me.
Am I the butthole for being upset with my son for finding a job without telling me? My son is 18. He's going to be attending community college and is living with me, my husband, and his 2 younger half-sisters. The other day, I found out that he found and accepted a job without telling me. I was upset with him about it, and the reason for that is that, first of all, he should have told me since we live in the same house. And also, more importantly, now I'm left without someone to babysit for the girls from 3 to 8 when my shift ends. My son is usually the one to stay home with the girls, and his new job is during those hours, so one way or another, we're impacted. He told me his friends found him this job and that it just happened, but I don't think it did because he knew that he'd have to give up staying with his sisters while I work. My husband travels most of the time, he's a pilot, and paid childcare is a no for me. My son said that I shouldn't be surprised by him trying to work to save money to be able to pay for himself. But that's just absurd, since he literally lives with us without having to pay for anything except for his own entertainment. He said he needed the job, and he wasn't realistically going to stay and watch his sisters for days on end, especially if he doesn't get paid for it.
We kept arguing, and my husband got involved, and he just got too upset, saying that my son has no respect for us. My son basically had a like it or not attitude with us and kept refusing to discuss this with us, saying that we had no right to be upset with him and should just accept it. But I think that he's being inconsiderate of my husband and I's struggle to provide for the family as a whole. This should mean something to him, but he's acting selfishly. Edit. Okay, it seems that I didn't mention the reason why the babysitter option isn't ideal. It's because my daughters don't want a babysitter. They're both dealing with some issues and they're uncomfortable being with a stranger at home. Besides that, my son decided to stay with them and we didn't ask him or anything. Some of you are implying or suggesting that I'm making my son be the girl's babysitter, but in fact, that's not true. He doesn't do much for them, just stays home with them while he studies or plays video games. He adores his sisters and only stays with them when he wants to. Otherwise, we wouldn't force him. Also, my husband said the girls are too young for therapy, and I agree with him on that.
What the? Goodness, I went to church today. I can't say what I want to say. What the? Girl, but what happens
What the
when?
fuck was that?
Thank you, Anna. Because, boy, I couldn't say. I'm like, what the? Are you serious? Are you serious? This is not, this can't be real. Is this real or not?
I'm going to tell you what messed her up. Yeah, this is real. Trust me, this has always been real. We've always had people who had children to watch children. That's pretty much your whole freaking thing. That's why the oldest child always seemingly don't have a damn life, because they're always watching the younger child. And trust me when I say I grew up on that tremendously. That I've literally seen people who've had 5 and 6 kids. And the oldest was always supposed to be taking care of the youngest children until they leave. Period. You do the cooking, you do the cleaning, you do the chores.
And you
I go
want
to
have
work, I bring home
kids.
the money, and I go bed, lather, rinse, repeat. Yeah, I've seen it. This woman messed up when she said the first part, I'm so upset, he got a job and nobody he won't watch the kids, he's just being selfish and everything. But then you turn around and go, but I don't make him watch the kids. I've never made him.
No, she lost me. She lost me when she said he's 18. That means he's an adult. He's not responsible for, first of all, he didn't make them children, so it's not his responsibility to watch them children. That's yours. You should have thought about that before you had intercourse. I don't know what you was thinking. I don't care. What happens when he moves out and can't watch? They're too young. And the father, you garbage too. Child care is a result of having children. You just put it into, this is why you need to add up the cost before having children. You have to add that. This oh my goodness.
Yet another woman with the deeply held belief that she is the center of the universe.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, this is the part where I have to be a little serious. Just for a second.
Big man.
It would have been one thing if she would have said, look, I will pay you money. I know that you're looking for a job, so I really need somebody here with the girls. I don't have anybody for therapy for them yet, so can we make a deal? Wasn't what she said.
She wanted him to do it for free. And he wants to take care of himself like, a normal 18-year-old would. Oh, my goodness.
But this is the deal. I have to be a little serious because the last part kind of pissed me off. Why do you not want a babysitter? Because the kids do not want to be with somebody because they're going through some things. So you recognize, lady, that your younger kids is going through some things. You also then turn around like a dumbass and go, but they too young for therapy. Help me understand your logic. Because your son watching them ain't going to make them better.
Really?
They do not understand what therapy is, what they do in there.
No, they understand. She's just too much of a selfish twit to even care about her daughter. She cares about herself. Period.
Well,
With the T
yes.
at the end.
Well, playing devil's advocate is not her responsibility to provide him housing, and that's true.
That's
why
true
some of
too.
the, that was some of the
That's why
things
he
that
got
she
a
did
job so he can move out.
Ask him to pay rent and butt out of his life. That's something that you can do. That's
Yep.
absolutely
Be like,
true.
hey, you working now, but you ain't responsible for watching these kids. Yep, I want some rent money.
You know what? And I would even go for this. You're not watching the kids anymore. Now here comes the caveat of playing devil's advocate to devil's advocate. I'm paying rent now. I can't babysit anymore now. What you gonna do with that extra money? Are you gonna get a babysitter? No. You're just gonna sit here and
No,
try
she
to
doesn't
get.
want somebody from the outside.
They don't
Yeah.
want somebody
Coming
from the
in.
outside coming in. They don't want to take the children to therapy. Basically, they want him to be part-time parent.
So he is not allowed to get a job that has hours any time between 3 and 8 p.m. That's just not really realistic. At 18, no, not really.
And tell me where you can put this experience on your resume.
Watch Sisters.
I watched my sisters, but I didn't really watch my sisters. I played video games.
No, you could put I provided childcare, and I don't know how you describe video games.
Right, LL. She could have chose many alternatives, but she chose right.
She chose violence.
It's kind of my statement of you had many things you could do, but you went nuclear with your decision.
Oh, you chose the worst option. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she chose violence. Yeah, that was it. You could have.
And what happens?
And the funny thing about it is, you never said how old the girls were either. I'm just curious about that.
Are they 3 and 4? Or are they 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 12 and 13?
Yeah, are they 12? That's my argument right there. Are they 12 and 13, but you still need a babysitter there because they're going through some things that you refuse to help them with because they're too young. And hubby, who flies out a lot, no offense, dude, but how you know?
Yeah, you always gone. Here's my
No, don't. Please don't make assumptions there. He might be on the phone every night. He might get a daily report. You don't know how people can stay connected these days.
I mean, he can FaceTime, but he's a pilot.
He could.
Yes.
And he could also be the one to sit there and go, I'll see y'all later.
But here's my question. Here's my legitimate question. What happens when he wants to move out? Because that situation is going to get on his nerves. And he's going to want to move out.
What's going to happen then? She could do many alternatives, but she chose violence. You acting a plum monkey while he's there in the house. Now imagine when it's time for him to move out. Lord knows what happens if he decides to go to college.
And live on campus.
Most parents want their kids to grow up and
get a job.
Get out.
Get a job at least if you're going to
get a job. Yeah.
He is only 18 years old. I think the parents do not have some degree of responsibility for housing, or at the very least have him pay a small amount for rent. No 18-year-old make enough money for an apartment.
Hey, Parker.
And that was the alternative we said. Have him pay rent.
Here's an alternative, Parker. 30-year-olds don't make enough to pay rent.
Yeah.
Because the rent's too high. I'm just saying. What you right? They could charge him something. But don't expect them to be sitting here watching. He's not their parent. He's not those two little girls' parents. You're the parent. You make sure the children get there because you've identified they need it. But now you're withholding the care that they need because you don't want to pay because they are afraid of What?
The mother probably could still be mad at him even if he decided to go live on his own because she would still need someone to take care of the kids. So that would be my counter argument towards people that say, go, just make him pay rent, just make him pay rent. It ain't a money situation. That's not what the issue is with her. It's not money. Where you and again, because we do this on this show by default, we're using logic. It isn't about the money. It's literally about, I need somebody to watch these kids while I'm at work. Period, point blank, in the discussion. Even so, I'm saying that to say this. Even if she was to say, okay, now you got a job, you need to pay some rent. That's not going to change what the other part of
because
it.
She goes still want a free babysitter.
Because he's still going to want somebody. So now he's losing money out of his check, and he's still babysitting for free. And in fact, it almost sounds like he's paying her to babysit. So
why can't this be the nominee for the worst person?
Because this ain't bad. This ain't as worse as some other people. This is just entitled individuals. Okay, down to the last two. My wife is. You know what? I'm gonna play my wife is. I'm gonna pull an executive decision. I'm gonna play my wife is not a princess because I got some words. I'm just saying. I got some words here.
For the past several months, my wife has been eerily acting like a child. I understand that she's playing with our daughter, but it comes across as weird to me just how far she plays the role. For example, our daughter wanted a mini pizza, so she asked me to make her one. I went to make her the pizza, and then my wife said, "Me too, because I'm a princess too." I told her, "No, you're an adult, not a princess. I'll make you one, but you're an adult." My wife laughed nervously and said, "Okay, never mind." Our daughter heard that and said, "Dad, Mom is a princess too." I just said, agreeing. But I didn't want to have to explain it to her. I did feel bad because my wife changed out of her princess clothes too, but I don't know whether this whole ordeal makes me a bad guy. Oh man. Oh, I love this top comment. It's so good. From Nailgun198. The only correct no response to "I'm a princess too" was, "No, you're not. You're a queen. You're the bad guy."
That's the correct response.
I'm just gonna say this real quick, and then I'm gonna move on.
But she dressed. Go ahead, Marlon.
Dude, what the fuck is your problem? It's called imagination. It's pretending. She's playing with the daughter, you glittering moron. She don't think she really is a princess. Why? Because it's pretend. Just like the daughter don't really think she's a princess. Because it's pretend. But your little pompous A who wants to live in reality and want everybody to be a child or an adult, because those are the only two things you got, a child or an adult. If you're a child, act like a child. If you're an adult, act like an adult. The two should never twine. My God, bruh. And now you don't understand why she took the clothes off. Hell, I'll take the damn clothes off too. I don't even want to play this no more. You done took all the fun out of it. Jeez. I'm mad. I'm mad for her. I literally am. I played with my kids. I remember playing around with my kids. It was some of the greatest times. And yes, I had to play some of the stupidest characters on the face of the planet. I didn't really think I was them. I was doing it to make my child happy. I'm done. Sorry, because I'll be going on a Theus Robinson rant right now, and I ain't gonna try to do that. So, y'all take it away.
It is kind of strange that the mother dressed as.
It ain't strange. That was she was playing. She was playing.
I know
That's
she was.
strange.
I know. I said she. I said I know, but it was kind of strange. I mean, maybe because I didn't play with kids like that. I'm not on the father's side because he's an idiot, but he said she's been acting like a child. I wonder what other stuff she's been doing.
What? She's not a pirate. What? She's not a race car driver. Pretty much. The only way that you're gonna make this husband happy, don't play with your child. Don't have tea lunches with tea because of the little tea cups and everything. Because you know there's really not any tea in those cups, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Mickey. That's the vibe I got from him. That he wasn't just talking about when she was playing Princess. It's all the other times. That's the vibe I got too.
Me too. So, one of the things that I picked up on, because you don't go from 0 to seeing red with seeing the mother of your child play with your child. You see red when the mother of your child has a girlish personality. And there are lots of women out there. They don't want to be the queen. They want to be the princess. No responsibilities, I want to be the princess. Thank you very much. So, the only thing that I can say here is it is not a bad thing if you are childlike in your personality, in how you relate, especially not to children. But this is something that you should be talking about with somebody that you're going to possibly spend the rest of your life with. And see whether that's going to be something that will get on their nerves, or could they live with that?
I guess my only thing I would say to that, Anna, is I would agree with that. I do agree with that. However, I just want to throw a caveat in it. It depends on the content. If you're playing with your daughter, you specifically see that she is playing with her daughter, and that's when she's acting like a child because she's playing with her daughter. I get
that
it.
Was not
If you go to a restaurant, if you go to a restaurant and she's acting like this, if you go to if she's coming to bed, I'm a princess. It's time for me to go to bed. Yeah, we need to talk. Something ain't right here.
You shouldn't have married that person in the
No,
first place.
I am not saying anything is wrong with being childlike. I'm just saying you should communicate. That's what you're like.
Or don't like.
And how did you not notice this?
Or
before you...
there's another theory. He's jealous. And he wants to be the princess.
There you go. Tracy's right.
He's
No.
Damn, like my opinion don't even matter.
Why is you still talking?
Because I can. I talk when I want to talk.
Was you talking to yourself?
I'm talking because other people can hear me.
No, they can't.
No, we couldn't hear that.
Well, I'll say it again.
When he put his backstage, nobody can hear.
He's jealous of the relationship between the child and the mother, and he feels like he should be in on it. Whether that means he wants to dress up as a prince, a princess, a fairy, a goat, I don't know.
He just don't want to make 2 pizzas.
Or that.
God, dog, that's tacky.
You lazy bastard.
Being childlike and being childish. But I think Parker hit the nail on the head, or Tracy.
He's jealous.
Or it has been excessive, and he is frustrating at always being the adult. Perhaps the wife used playtime to manipulate him into doing things. Like I said, it's
hey Theus.
And hey Theus, we have to see the context of when these situations is happening. If it's in context and it's only happening when you're playing, I get it, dude.
Yeah, well, you
You're a
encourage
hoe.
that, but if she doing this at church, oh nah,
Yeah,
girl.
if you're doing it, in other words, childish and childlike, I get what you're saying. If you're being childish in an adult situation, which is honestly anything outside of dealing with your kids, I mean, and don't get it twisted. I'm just gonna go on a small rant. I don't do that whole ookie cookie, you looking.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
so
do that to
annoying.
kids. That's so.
That baby talk will get on your nerves and them
That
fast.
just irritates the daylights out
You
of
want
me.
your child talking like that?
I talk to children
That,
like I talk to adults. I use the words
yeah.
so that teaches them the words that you want them to say to you. Oochie coochie and la 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 is not words that they're gonna need to know when they become an adult. How was your day? What did you do today? Anna, don't even try it. Don't try to think of a reason why we would use those
I don't
words.
know. I've heard coochie in quite a few different.
She removed her own self.
Wow.
I didn't do it. She removed her own self.
I think he's jealous.
Oh.
The video and the mute yourself is too close to each other.
Oh, I thought you removed. Coochie is a word. I'm just gonna.
And then it just seemed to be right. Bye.
Oh, it was too close to. It was the same thing. I'll just see myself out. Foxy's videos.
There's a third one in there.
I think he made the executive.
Yeah, you said you was gonna play all three. That's what I thought you said.
Nah, because now it's an hour and a half, so
Oh,
this should
okay.
take up the next 30 minutes or at above. Because we do have a lot of Foxy videos of the week.
Okay.
Foxy's videos of the week. It's almost like he's here. Assuming that she is childish or even childlike, it can get really old. No one likes being the only serious person in a relationship, especially if she's acting like a spoiled child when she hears no. And again, that still would have to be put in context. If the way this guy told the story was in that context of playing with her child, she was childlike. She was being childish because she was playing with a child. Anything outside of that, then yes, everything is assuming. I don't want to sit there and be the only adult holding a conversation with another adult who's talking like a child.
Did you hear her response though?
Oh,
when
okay.
he yelled at her, "You're an adult," and she
shut down.
She responded as if she was a little girl.
This is going to go down as one of those stories that we need more to it. We really do.
Yeah.
But I do like that. I do like that statement though. You know, you're not a princess. You're a queen.
Mm-hmm.
I really got down on one knee and just to suck up a little bit more. Anyway, it's a rough hard road from when you used to be a conservative and you're slowly drifted over to being a leftist, a Democrat, a progressive, however you want to put it. And this is the trials and tribulations that you have to go through.
There are some downsides to switching from highly conservative to further and further left. For instance, I was a lot more confident whenever I was a conservative, if confident is the word you want to use. The Dunning-Kruger effect is probably a better description. I knew exactly how to vote, exactly how to believe. I knew everything there was to know about absolutely everything. My religion was the only right one. Capitalism is absolutely the best way to do things, and everybody wants to be America. But now, the more I study, and especially the more history I study, the further left I go. And the further left I go, the more I realize just how little we know about the world. And it's a bummer because if I point out something like, hey, our healthcare system's broken, or hey, income inequality is a problem, and I get bombarded with questions like, what are you, a socialist? Do you hate freedom? What about Venezuela? I don't know, man, I'm not an economist. I just know that things are messed up.
That was the Venezuela part, though. That confused me.
Everybody always brings up Venezuela as the strawman argument of the socialist country, the communist, I should say, country. Yeah, it's bullshit. It's a strawman argument, nothing more.
Okay. So, yeah, when you actually when you remove that laminated piece of paper that you read from that already has the answers to the same issues that we go through, yeah, it is kind of harder. I'm not saying it's not worth it. I'm not saying it's something that you don't need to broaden your freaking horizon. I'm literally not even saying you have to be a Democrat or a leftist or a progressive. All I'm literally saying is open your damn eyes, open your ears, open your knowledge. I'm trying to learn that if you have an answer to a complicated problem and it's just a one sentence answer, not the right answer. We have said on this show many of the times, it is every problem that we have in this country. I want people to stop saying, all we got to do is, and all we had to do was. No, that's not true at all. You really feel like if we remove this sting from this problem, the problem is completely solved. That is absolutely not true or realistic. It's complex. It will take time. The only issue that I've ever had with these problems is we just don't even actually start to fix it. We just see the problem and go. One thing that does slow us down is all we have to do is, again, shut up. No, we don't. It's more complicated than that. But at least move in the direction of actually doing something. You can be non-denomination politically if you are just capable enough to realize that any problem that we have in this country is not solved with your little laminated piece of paper. Any problem that we have in this country is not solved by you insulting the other people who have a problem with that, who sees a problem with it. What are you, socialist? What are you, woke? Yeah. What are you, asleep? That's it. Anything?
I find it really interesting when my neighbors, who I have gotten out of the Fox bubble and working on two more, they come to me with these different realizations now that they are looking at multiple sources. Do you know that they were telling us A, but it was really B and C and D and E? It's like, yes, I did know that. And I'm so glad that you are finally joining the party. This is where I will say there are some people that have the patience to go and walk the slow, sometimes painful walk of deprogramming somebody on the right. Because all we want is to find out what we have in common and start from there. The majority of people that I come across, they are not looking for the divisive issue. They're given the divisive issues. But once we say, okay, stop with the Fox News sound bits, and let's talk about how this goes in your life. You have kids, grandkids? How's the education? How's the transportation around your place? How it, pick whatever kind of an issue you want to talk about, but make it. The thing is, you have to still make it relate to them. And for those of you that don't have the patience, don't try. It's totally cool. Those of us that do have the patience, we know. Probably like unwork years of somebody's slow deprogramming work. So yeah, don't worry. All good. And honestly, I think it is up to me, my cousins, to talk to each other. It is not
You're on
your
mute.
responsibility. Marlon, you're
You're on mute.
muted.
I'm sorry, I apologize. What I wanted to say was, and I apologize, and I'll let you finish your thought. Please do not pull, I beg of you, because you will unravel everything that you've done. Don't gloat about it. I told you so. You should have listened to me alone. Please don't do that. This you have taken the thought of everything that you was trying to get them to understand and put it right back on you to go on home. The wise one, this ain't about you. It's about us. So please do not do that. Don't do that. Don't gloat. Don't I told you so. Don't you listen to me. Don't what backhanded compliments. What took you so long? And I've been telling you this, but don't, man. Look, I'm sorry, Anna.
That's
Go ahead
not
and
what
finish
it's
your
about.
statement. Go ahead.
You're exactly right, though. That's not what it's about. It is about all of us. And there is one people who are more and more getting in the way of everybody else progressing. To me, so I once asked these lovely folks that I'm on the panel with, do you consider yourself a leftist? And basically, I think we all answered the same. I am not on the left, but I do lean left in my policy for political issues. My personal definition, if you will, is that if I am doing well, I want everybody else to be doing well. We are only as strong as our weakest link. And so we have to work for the good, the greater good. There is a million reasons why all of these things have become, not sure what the word I'm looking for is, snappy not logos. You know, when you
Slogans.
slogans. Thank you. Yeah,
Or
the
so
greater good, all
with
that.
you lately.
I am serious. But, sorry, like Anna said, if you're going to guide someone
Like what Anna
to
said,
help
if you're going to
someone,
guide someone back to
sorry,
helping someone through, then you must create a safe space for them to do so. Depending on who you and the time of day, I might. That's Thea
right.
said. Depending on the time of day, he might be that person. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the left. I'm not a progressive. I'm a progressive. I'm just not agreeing with a
Okay,
lot
but let me
of. Go ahead.
ask this. There is a difference between the left, and I'm putting air quotes around that. I say capital T, capital L, and being on the left. So, are you capitalizing those words? Or are you just saying you're on the left? Are you a leftist? They say very different things to me. I hear a lot of people say, I am on the left. Girl, where are you?
First of all, stop singing at me. I hate people who talk like that. I really hate people who talk to me like that. It is someone, where are you? Oh my God. Oh, hey, you know what? God is one syllable. Surprisingly enough, not 2 or 3 or 4, depending on how upset you are. Sorry.
Oh my God.
Apologies. That's personal thing with me.
Mhm.
Oh my
I hear you.
God.
Oh, do not, do not. I do
Just
not assume. Just do not. But yeah, give
uh
people a safe space, and they will come and they will talk to you.
this is a silly example, but what about if it's a really wacky belief like, oh, I changed my mind from believing that the earth was flat to the earth is round. Can you say I told you so then? No. No.
You can.
First of
I
Not,
all,
would.
not,
here's the funny thing
not for
about the
you
earth is
to undo everything you've done. Your whole relationship with them. The moment you choose sarcasm, you unravel all the work you've just done. No, no, even then, because you're looking at somebody who really believes that the world is flat because they look out of their doors and their windows and go, I don't see it. Okay? So,
I'm sorry. Just,
okay, I'm sorry, everybody.
sorry,
I should
I
not have
really
used
should have shown
I
that. I
shouldn't have
apologize.
used
You was
the
on the
device.
roll. The point is, Parker, no, don't do it because
No.
what you're looking at is a a situation instead of looking at a beginning of a journey. First of all, people who sit there and say the earth is flat, I don't even put any stock to that because I'm like, what the hell is this even a subject? Who cares? What did they got to do with the price of milk? I don't care. You can think the earth is oval for all I care. I don't, what? Knock yourself out.
It's calling science into question.
Yes.
That's where that stepping
And you know
stone.
what? I will be more entwined to listen to somebody who's an anti-vaxxer more than I'll listen to somebody who says there's an earth flatter. I'm sorry, I can't do that because one is a life-saving situation. One is talking about what the hell is the bottom of the earth. I can't play this game with you. When you come to me and so Parker, I would literally have to work on my sarcasm because if somebody came and said, I now agree that the earth is round, I have to stop myself from going,
Really?
really?
Congratulations.
This is when you come back to your friends and go, guys, come here, I got a story for you. And you don't let it out to them. Because yes, this is important. You are teaching somebody to actually look at facts and not just believe everything that they've been told. Marlon, you're muted.
Yep, you sure are. You're muted. We can't hear you.
I was talking to Foxy, so.
Oh.
But let's go ahead. So, capital L means left of center, moderate policies for me. Lower L is just like left of Republicans, which can still be on the right. So, left and left of. So, left,
Okay, so
capital
I think I
L.
know what you're
Left
saying.
of is lowercase l. So, the left still needs to work out their own biases before trying to make new. Say it to the people in the back. I'm way out there, but you all know that. Susan, some of the ideas that we've had needs to be way out there because as we see, the most baseline ideas ain't working.
Sure not. They really
So we
aren't.
need some way out there ideas.
Incrementalism will be the death of us all.
Yep.
If you're my friend, you know sarcasm is part of the deal. Plus,
Thank you. You better know it.
ITYS can be useful. I try not to pander, and all beliefs don't need to be entertained. Like I said, it literally has to stop me from I believe now that the earth is round.
Good. What else you believe?
Okay. We're not
And
throwing a
I
parade
think
today.
Tracy's response is a perfect response.
What else have changed?
You might have meant that sarcastically, but that actually leaves it open for them to tell you something else. Like I said, it's not for everybody. And if it's not for you, that's not a bad thing.
I still believe Obama is Muslim. Yeah, okay.
Oh, now them people go on to the left. Get my face. Now look. Now y'all know I'm not a fan of Obama, but come on. I got that one. You still saying that? Stop watching Fox News.
Yeah, they
Just
actually are
stop.
still saying that.
He's from
They are,
Kenya. No, he's Kenyan because his father's from Kenya. Like I'm
yeah.
African because my ancestors are from Africa. But guess what? I was born in Indianapolis, Indiana. So therefore, I'm also American. See how you can be both? See how like you can be Irish and American? I can be African and American. See how that works?
So one day I was walking down the street. I had just moved into my neighborhood. And I had a scarf over my head because I didn't want mosquitoes flying in my ears and making that noise in my. Hate that. Somebody that I now know where he lives decided to stop his truck, roll down his car, and yell at me to go back where I came from. I looked at him and went, New
Home?
York? What's your
I love
point
it when
here?
they say go back where you came from. Okay, take a ship back to Italy or France or England or Germany, wherever you came from,
That
and
has
just go.
always been my return line.
Okay.
Go
See
back to
you.
where you come
Cause see,
from.
we
I'm
was
sorry.
here first.
Are you
See,
Native
we was here
American?
first, so I'm gonna stay right here because my people was here before yours. So let's just work that out first. Let's work that part
I'm
out.
sorry. I have two questions. Well, I have a question and a statement depending on the answer. Are you Native American? No. Okay. Then you need to go back where you came from.
But they
And I'll go back
American.
when you go back. When you send me a postcard saying that you're there permanently, I'm
Wait
How
for
we gonna
that
go back? Or
line,
we don't?
though. That I had a grandmother third time removed who married.
just stop because we gone too far.
Just stop.
Yeah. My uncle's cousin's nephew's dog, who had a owner whose cousin's niece bruh, the dog broke the chain. We're done with this conversation. There's
And he
no.
makes the dog Lakota.
The Earth actually rests on the back of a turtle. Yeah,
Yes.
why not? It's better than a lot of other stuff that I.
Mhm.
2018 patience, 2023. The F is wrong with you. You can't say that, Tias. No, Tias. You can't. No. No.
I wanted to ask before I was born in New York.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to ask before, like, okay, who are we keeping locked up in a basement compound somewhere so that we can actually pull out juries who are still unbiased? I-
I think they have watered down the questioning.
Have they?
Yeah,
They
because I
would have
kind of
had
think
to.
because I kind of think they've gotten to the point of saying even if you have some knowledge of it, how much knowledge of it do you have? Because they
So,
literally have people who the law firm hire whose job is to literally look at the facial features, the reaction to questions, of their eye contact and everything else, their personality trait and everything else to pick jurors. That's their job.
okay, okay.
If you watch the show Bull, it's on or used to be on CBS. I don't know if the show's still on there or not. But that's what his job was. He would go. He was hired to go before the jury before they pick jurors, and he'll tell the attorney, "No, not number one, not number three, and not number
Yeah.
five." And he's taking all of this from their reaction to questions, their background, their posture, their occupation, their mannerism. They take it is a quick formula that they work around in their head to go, yeah, that jury will work, and no, not that one.
I would be really curious to know whether I would be considered unbiased enough or could be unbiased enough in my deliberations because I have dedicated the
Yeah,
last at least 3 and counting years um, to learn more about Black issues. And when I saw that he was a baby, he had such a baby face. That's what I saw. I know there are people that will, blackmail. You're a threat, seen as older than you actually are. That was a baby. He still had chipmunk cheeks, and yes, that's Teller. Anyway,
we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next video. So we've already talked about this a lot on this show about learning history and why you don't know this, how you don't know this. They should be teaching this in school. It is one thing to say that, man, I didn't know that existed. It's another thing to go, man, I didn't know that part of history existed, and you're Tom Hanks.
I read a New York Times piece on a 100-year-old survivor of the Tulsa Massacre. And my question was this: what's the Tulsa Massacre? How is it that it wasn't until 2 years ago that I heard about the Tulsa Massacre? How is that possible? I've heard about Custer's Little Bighorn. I heard about the Alamo. I heard about the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire. I heard about all kinds of disasters in which people died. But I had never heard about this thing that happened in 1921, only 3 years before my dad was born. One of the most successful black communities in America, Black Wall Street, in which everybody was not only burned out of their homes and their businesses, but then driven out of the city limits by an angry mob of, I'm sorry, white people. How is it that this was not taught to me? Because I tell you, at the age of 10, when I was in 5th grade, living in Oakland, California, that would have been a moment of enlightenment for me. And it made me mad. It made me mad that somebody had somehow made an editorial process of what was appropriate for us to learn about our own American history. It made me angry. And it took me 54 years in order to find this out. It's not right. It's not right, and it's doing a disservice to all of America.
But we
One,
can't make white people feel bad. We can't do that.
you're going to feel bad. I'm just going to let you know off the bat.
Yep.
You're going to feel bad about
If
what
you have
you're.
any amount of empathy. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to feel bad. There is a bunch of you ancestors who wasn't the sweet old grandmother and grandfather and great grandmother and great grandfather that you know and love. You know of them because you of how they treated you, of how they treated your friends, of how they treated your family. But outside of your friends and your family and you, I'm sorry. Some of these people were freaking monsters. You would literally have to be a monster to get an airplane and drop bombs on a town because of the skin tone that's the majority of that town. You have to be a monster to go in and burn down a whole town. You have to be a monster to tell the survivors of that town, thank you for surviving. Get the hell out of our state. You have to be a monster. I don't care if Uncle Lulu bounced you on your knee when you was 3 years old. Uncle Lou was walking around with a pitchfork and telling people, how dare you have more than I have? I'm sorry that you need to know this, but I am telling you in your face, you need to know this because the people of these days that want to erase history is telling you they don't want you to feel bad about what your people did. That and when they say stuff like that is a equivalent of saying, I don't want you to know what your ancestors did. Thus, when you hear minorities complain about it, and it's not that big of a deal because you don't have the acknowledgement of knowing what your ancestors did. So you negate their feelings about it. So the real complaints of how we was treated back in the day has now turned to you're just griping. Thus, do not have to listen to you. We just listened to Ralph Yarl, who had to deal with somebody who lived through those days. Unfortunately for the shooter, his whole family knows he's a freaking buster and called him out on it and don't even want to deal with him. But there are a lot of people who are not like that.
One of his grandsons was still trying to make excuses for him.
Oh, I didn't
Oh,
even know
he's
that one.
old and he didn't know. He comes from that generation. Blah blah blah. Tell tell
Right.
Grandpa KKK he's going to prison
Let's
for a
go.
long time.
Let's go with that then. Thank you for saying that then. He comes from that generation. Thank you for admitting that that generation was full of monsters. I appreciate it. That generation raised a full of monsters. Thank you. Doesn't excuse him now, but thank you for acknowledging that the generation that he grew up with had no problem dragging black people out, stringing them on a tree, and hanging them just for the simple fact that they didn't have anything better to do that Saturday. Thank you. I
Both of
appreciate
my
it.
grandparents were racist AF. It was the later boomers who then became the hippies who said, we gotta break this chain somewhere. So yes, it's in all, if you have European ancestry, every single one of us have relatives that committed atrocities. It was not us. Most people, like when I was taught about slavery being a kid, I went, oh, that's horrible. Did I feel responsible for it? No. This is fine for kids to learn about. It is imperative for kids to learn about.
That means we're woke. We're too woke. That's what Ron DeSantis said. We're woke.
Fuck him. If we do not learn from history, we are doomed to repeat it. And we have repeated it over and over. When we gonna fucking learn?
That's the whole point. He wants to repeat it. You have laws you had a lawmaker in, I forget what the rules, Tennessee or Missouri, actually said bring lynching back. And just said it. I'm like, y'all didn't suspend this person? Y'all didn't say, no, it's time for you to go out of office and don't come back anymore.
And that's where I was saying, I really believe that we need to amend something somewhere that the voters can have some kind of fallback power. We can't just elect people and then, okay, I'm elected, I get to do whatever the fuck I want. I can lie to people, I can turn.
You know how hard it is to recall a
Yes, I do know how hard it is.
No, I mean, I know you know, but I'm just saying people need to realize our laws are written that way. So once they get in, it's going to be hard to get them out. And it was designed to make us lose.
Unless you do a protest in the middle of a meeting in Tennessee, then it's really freaking easy to get your ass out of office.
Oh yeah, get caught with be forced
now,
to
what's
resign.
hard to get you out of office is to be found guilty in March, and the only reason that you get kicked out, aka you surrendered, because you didn't even get kicked out, you just surrendered, was the news people pointed out the fact that you was trying to figure out how many men and women this 19-year-old person. Never mind, y'all was there yesterday. Let's move on, because I got one more thing. So this video right here, I'm glad I came across it because I actually had a comment. Remember I said there is always a byproduct of becoming bigger when it comes to this channel. The bigger you get, the more comments you get. The more comments you get, the more thoughts and processes you get. And honestly, the majority of them is our thought process. And Anna could contest to this. The majority of them thinks our way. You have a spattering of morons. And one of those morons was talking about the Justins, the Justin Jones and the Justin Peterson video that I was showing. And he called what they did during the meeting insurrection.
Oh, okay.
And I went,
no.
Okay, dude, if this the route that you're going, that you go call this an insurrection. And he went on some big tirade and everything else. And point, like, once again, dude, I'm not even going to sit here and argue with you if you think two people with a two people and one with a blowhorn who said something for 30 seconds is the equivalent of the Capitol insurrection.
He was there. That's why he's saying it. He was right there.
So I found somebody.
I had the same thought, Trace.
He was
So
right
I have,
there.
apparently. He was on the outside, though, you little coward. You didn't want to go in. So I had some lady who actually broke down the difference between the Tennessee and what she is talking about was there was a protest before the whole Peterson and Joe situation. There literally was a protest outside. The Peterson and Joe situation just took more headlines, but before that, there was a protest outside of the state capitol. Because we also have to remember they was protesting because 3 adults and 3 kids were killed not too long ago. So this lady is breaking down the difference between the Tennessee protest and the Capitol insurrection. Please pay attention because the next time I see somebody come on here, all I'm literally going to do is send you this video.
I've noticed that Republicans are having a very difficult time in my comments telling the difference between the lawful protest in Tennessee and the insurrection of January 6th. So I thought I'd make them a quick, helpful chart. Peaceful, violent, go through security checkpoints properly, push over barricades and bypass security checkpoints, stay in public areas, swarm restricted areas, cooperate with the police at the Capitol, violently attack Capitol Police, 0 property damage, over $30 million in property damage, 0 arrests, more than 1,000 arrests and 500 guilty pleas. Was that helpful, Republicans?
Say the same thing. It was an insurrection. It was worse. And
What confused you, Anna? I saw your face when something she said surprised you.
It was surprising, not confusing. The amount of money it took to fix the Capitol, the 30 million.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. And guess who's paying for it? Us.
So do you now see the difference between a protest and an insurrection? Now I'm saying this slowly because the answer is probably to you, no. But it is. I'm talking to the people who's on the fence. I'm talking to the people who me, Anna, Tracy, and Theas, and everybody else was talking to earlier today. When you're just not sure which way to go, and this argument comes about, we'll show you the difference between a protest that was peaceful and a protest where people lost their lives. A protest where 0 arrest. This is by the SBI, this was by the state police who reported 0 arrest. We're at 1,000+ arrests during the Capitol riots. But I'm going to add one more thing to that list. And here's the thing that I'm going to add to it. And I kind of tricked everybody because nobody picked up on it because I sort of slid it in there a little bit.
Oh, no, not the wait, there's more.
No, not the wait, there's more. No, that's not a wait, there's more. I sort of slid it in and I was seeing was somebody going to catch it after she talked, but no, I didn't see anybody say anything. The bigger difference is Capitol riot was on every news organization around the world. I just literally had to remind you there was a protest outside of the state capitol of Tennessee.
It was live.
live.
Around the world, live.
I just had to remind you because, and rightfully so, I'm not taking away from Jones and Peterson. You did your thing, keep doing it. But I had to remind you that that was a byproduct of the protest that was happening outside the state capitol, i.e., you didn't even know about the protest. You assumed the protest was Justin Jones and Justin Peterson and a blowhorn that lasted the equivalent of 30 seconds. That's what you thought was a protest. So do you really want to sit here and play that was an insurrection too when you didn't even know it was happening?
Yep, they do. They're beyond logic.
Let me see. What's y'all conversation, y'all? Ashley Park is tough stuff to find. I only knew it because I worked at it and recognized the racism in my family and the people I love was as wrong. It was, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, because I know somebody said you should have grew up and figured it out yourself and everything. And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
well, if you gotta figure that this was history and you learned history and you're not going to believe it or not, there are some people who use history to pass a grade. And they're done with it.
Don't learn nothing. And it
And
depends on
don't
where.
want to. And I'm not, that's what I'm saying. And I'm not even hating you on it. Get history, get your grade, get the hell out. So yeah, unless you really just, it comes a point where you have to look at the current situation and go, there has to be more to this. Or somebody brings it to your attention and you go, oh, what? Wait, what? Huh? I agree, Susan. There are more people that need to have that mindset of being willing to work to learn about this stuff. I was just sort of mad the way Tom Hanks seems to be downplaying his own responsibility. And he kind of was. 50 something years, and and one of your movies, Glory?
That was Denzel Washington. He was in Philadelphia with Denzel Washington. I don't know how you confused them two movies.
But wasn't he also in Glory?
He was not in Glory. I don't believe he was.
I don't know the movie. Okay. I can understand where Tom Hanks is coming from because there is such an active, let's not teach this.
Yep, let's not teach it.
And yes, schools have way too much that they're trying to funnel into. We cannot possibly learn everything that we should be learning just in school. So the only thing where I will say that Tom Hanks was slacking was that he thought it was their responsibility.
Yeah, it's yours. But where do you go to?
Everything. Right. If you don't know that, I only learned about the Tulsa Massacre just maybe a few months before I started watching you guys. And that was only because of clickbait. Go ahead.
No, but again, that's where I'm like, well, I'm willing to give them leeway because, like you said, time and place. Teachers didn't want to teach it. It's not like when you're adult, you're thinking, gee, let me go learn about Black history. Black people don't even do that. If I'm being totally honest, we don't do that. We should. We should check every step, but we don't think in terms of, gee, I gotta go to the store. Let me download this video about Kwanzaa. Or let me talk about, Black Wall Street. We just don't think in those ways because we're not taught to think in those ways. You have to almost have to make yourself do it. Like you have to be, it has to be something in you that says, I'm going to do this regardless. And most people don't have it. So I'm not going to fault them. I would say, yep, it would be expected that he wouldn't know about Black Wall Street. Heck, I tell black people about it. They'd be like, what? Like, you didn't know about this? And they're looking at me like, are you serious? I'm like, yes. They dropped a bomb on a black community, and it was in the 80s. Not 1785, not 1885, 1980 something. In the 80s. So no, I don't fault him. But it's his responsibility. I agree with you. But how do you, like, if you don't know, you don't even know. I mean, yes, you have Google, but
you need to know the question to ask.
You need to know there it is. You need to know the questions to ask. And most people aren't going to take that time.
Arrest doesn't make it a valid protest. It was just a shot to tell you that that's part of the equation of there was something that was being done wrong, and he was arrested, compared to there was nothing being done wrong. And
why am I listening to a legislature that didn't even punish a legislator for assaulting two terms, asking them who their sexual partners were? But I'm not listening to y'all. I'm not listening. Nothing you got to say. Why am I listening? Why am I engaging in a conversation with you? You obviously did this because they were black. Can we please say that? They were black. That's why you did it. Because it's boys talk when I tell you. Boy, sit down. Boy, shut up. That's what they wanted.
And they didn't.
And they did. Thank goodness.
Keep it up. Keep it up. Okay, moving on. We got 2 more videos. And this is a very serious video. Because I have sat here and we have preached and preached and preached and preached and preached that if we don't get this country on track, that fascism will take over, and this country is going to start making decisions that's not in your best interest.
It will take over?
It will. I was going to say,
it will get worse then. Let's put it.
Yeah, because I'm like, fascism is already here.
Fascism is going to get worse to the point where they're going to start making laws and judgments, not before trials, but it right dead smack in the middle of the trial.
At her arraignment this afternoon, Hannah received the harshest possible sentencing from the judge. She will be tried as a black adult.
Due to the extreme and violent nature of this crime, this court finds it fitting to try the defendant as an African American. Henceforth, you will be referred to for the jury by the name Bondell Brown.
Once the trial begins next week, all courtroom images of Hannah will depict her as a 300-pound muscular black man, and jury members will be instructed to imagine her as such.
This is America. Nobody deserves to be treated as a black man.
Now that Hannah has been ruled black, the court has instructed local media to assume she's guilty, and the police have retroactively charged her with assaulting her arresting officer. Hannah's 24 character witnesses have been replaced by a single crack addict who goes by the name of Skaggs. Hannah's parents are, of course, planning to appeal the ruling, saying that their daughter should at most be tried as a black celebrity or a stunningly beautiful Filipino lady. Every time I hear a story like that, it makes me so glad I'm exempt from the legal system.
Okay, the Onion has gone too far. The Onion has gone too far.
I hate you. I hate you. I thought this shit was real. You fucker.
Anna, you couldn't have thought that was real.
I love you. I hate you. I love you.
Yeah. Dana went too far. She gonna be tried as a black one, as a 300-pound black. Y'all done went too far. The Onion, y'all went too far to make a social point.
Oh God. I'm sorry. I have said this before, and I will say it again. The best entertainment you can have is watching Anna's face when she's watching the video, and I'm looking at Anna like she's actually believing this crap because she's getting more pissed off as the story goes.
You gotta be fucking kidding me! This is... The thing was,
Oh
I
my
could not
God.
rule out this happening.
This would never happen, ever. To a white person. To a white person. To a white person.
It really depends on what the crime
They would
was.
have had to did something hideous, like start like cannibalism or so. There's no. The Onion that went too.
I'm sorry, but when you go, you know how
I
I want
hate
to know what the
you and I
crime
love
is.
you, and
I
I'm
know,
done.
I know. If I don't get a little bit of hate, I don't feel love. If I don't, I want to know what the crime was.
There was no. Oh my gosh, no, Marlon.
No, even in this hypothetical blah 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 world, I want to know what the crime is so heinous that we're gonna change not only your race, not only your gender, we're gonna change your weight. We're gonna take all your credible witnesses and give you a crackhead. I want to know what the crime was, and they really making sure you ain't winning. They really going out of the way to make sure you don't not win.
Her card was declined probably at Walmart.
No, she don't shop at Walmart, Tiffany's,
They shop
or
at Walmart.
Nordstrom.
Nope, Walmart. Because
A lot of white people shop at Walmart.
There's no way in the world. Who are you gonna yell at if you don't go to Walmart? You got to go to Walmart. You got to make yourself feel better, so you go to Walmart.
I don't. My father is a union man and was like, don't let me catch you in there for nothing.
It's the only grocery store around me.
I would never fault. Nope, never fault you for that.
When they show the courtroom drawing transcript, they show her picture to showing a drawing of the muscular man. No, the funny thing about it is, and I'm more mad at you.
That you almost fell for this girl.
Did you not notice when the lady was sitting there and they was giving instructions that looked like a classroom? I'm sitting there like, okay.
No, that looks like a courtroom.
That looked like a high school classroom, junior high classroom. Hold on.
No, not with the judge in the front. That looked like a.
At her arraignment this afternoon, Hannah received the harshest possible sentencing from the judge. She will be tried as a black adult.
Due to the extreme and violent nature of this crime, this court finds it fitting to try the defendant as an African American. Henceforth, you will be referred.
No, look at the seal in the back.
Also, I like the fact that the attorney didn't even budge. Like, yeah, saw that one coming.
No, you knew what you wanted. You wanted an emotional reaction, and you got one. And I love you, and I hate you, and I love you.
I don't feel love if I don't have a little hate.
It's
final story of the night.
My brain has been going through a lot. Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Final story of the night. Final video of the night. I didn't know this. Science is very fascinating to me. I did not know this. The way the lady is explaining it was kind of quirky, so I'm gonna tell you what she was saying so nobody gets confused. Did you know that if you listen to hot water being poured and cold water being poured, you could tell the difference between the two? You could tell the difference between hot water being poured and cold water being poured. So everybody's on board with that? Okay, here we go. Now we're going to show you how scientifically you can tell the difference.
Did you know? Look over there. Okay. Did you know that you can hear water sound different when you pour it, when it's cold or hot? Did you know?
No way.
Here we go. All right, pay attention. Pay very close attention. Okay.
It looks warm. Okay.
It's cold.
You know what? If you don't sit your joker behind down somewhere.
Oh my God, that was hilarious to me.
Do that to Foxy and let's just see what her reaction is.
Send it mine. She laughed.
That's not funny. That's stupid.
I
can hear it.
Oh God! And this is a lesson. In case anybody wants me to make it serious, this is a lesson of overthinking. It's basically what it is. It's a lesson of overthinking. Everybody's paying attention to the scientific hot and cold water or ice.
And she wasted all that water when she could have just poured that water on that ice and drank it.
Water comes in three
different forms: water, steam, and ice.
Mm-hmm. Steam sounds totally different.
Thank you, Mickey.
Can you pour steam though?
No, but you can see it.
I agree, Tracy. That was dumb. It didn't even make me smile. I'm sorry. This week, well, not this week. The week after, I'll try to find something a little raunchy for your taste, Mickey. Because apparently, nice clean joke. Another Mickey video. So I'll work on it. Everybody likes the Mickey videos. I'm not judging. How am I judging? I'm the one that puts them on. She should have poured out water with ice instead. It was supposed to just be only ice.
That's what I was saying.
Not everybody being practical. You should have got a tea bag since the water was hot and made some tea important.
Thank you with some sugar and some lemon. She'd have had
it. You're welcome, Mickey. I'll work on that. I'll work on finding you another joke. I had one from Anna, but her stuff was like.
You're censoring me.
I have to.
Hey, he's been censoring me.
At least one video, I think I could cut out the last joke, and I think you know what I'm talking about. I think I could go all the way until the last four words of the video, and I think I will have to cut that out. So maybe I'll work on that one, but there's no way I'm putting the last 4 words of that video on this show. Funny as crap. I laughed, but wow.
Ignores my stuff.
I'll send it to y'all later.
Because you.
I know. I've sent.
Put on bad singing, Tracy. Enough is
but
enough.
It's funny.
There's bad singers. I've had bad singers on the show. Got it. Great. They're not everybody can sing. Got you.
But then he the one that says, if you send me a video, I'll play it. Send him a video. No, I ain't playing that one. Did he not say that, Anna? Did he not say that?
If you send me a video that's actually not the same type of videos that we've already seen.
I've sent you a diversity. Wilkins Coffee, that was different.
And I showed Wilkins Coffee.
I have sent things about Germany and the U.S. None of that.
None of it.
I have sent lesbian jokes. None of that. I have sent.
I sent the video of Barney and Fred smoking in the commercial. Did you see that being on here? No.
Yeah, that was a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Fred and Barney advertised for cigarettes.
During the old cartoon area in the 50s and 60s, they didn't have to pay for commercials.
They just put them in the show.
Commercials would pay the cartoon people. Sometimes the commercials will pay the show itself to advertise during the middle of the show. Can you advertise our product during your show? That's how they made their revenue. The Flintstones were
smoking that yakety yak.
They were smoking cigarettes.
Yakety
They were
yak.
smoking tobacco. Okay.
What is
Tell me
yakety
they
yak?
were
Tobacco.
smoking.
Okay, yakety
Oh, okay.
23 ain't tobacco.
Yes, it
I've
is.
never heard of that.
Nope.
He didn't play that one. He didn't play Crash Crut. That would have been hilarious. I mean, come on.
Yakety yak sound like something totally different than tobacco. I mean, it started off as a tobacco leaf, but it wasn't tobacco.
Yeah, I'll play it. Yeah, except for if Tracy or Anna sends it, he don't play it. No, we should do. We should get a clip
It don't
show.
matter. Y'all already hate me, so. But that's okay because I'll be
I
going.
love you. I hate you.
I know you love me, but you hate me.
But I love you.
Anyway, let's get it
It
on.
has to end with an I love you.
You're muted.
I am not muted.
Yeah, you couldn't hear. We couldn't hear the first words you said.
I couldn't hear what you were saying at all.
Could not.
Oh, can you hear me now?
A little bit, but yes.
Well, I was saying how beautiful you were, but since y'all couldn't hear me, I'm just going to move on. We will not be back on. We will not be on next week. Next week, as I explained to everybody, we are taking a hiatus.
Oh, Tracy's not doing the show?
Not next week. Not next week.
Oh, I got confused. Okay, sorry.
No, not this week. Wait a minute. Hell, I'm old enough to remember As with Men, only men playing doctors and smoking and recognizing.
Recommend a brand. They sure did.
I'm old enough to remember when you used to be able to smoke in the elevator. Do that crap now. I'm a cigar smoker. Even you do that now, I'm gonna be pissed off. So we will not be on next week. I will have a couple of old shows to be in our place. The week after, Tracy Carson. Lordy,
That's
Lordy.
it. I'm not gonna play anything that you don't tell me to play.
I believe you. I believe you.
Finally.
I believe you. Tracy Carson will be taking over Radical Truth to Power and Saturday Night Vibe on the times when I probably A, will not be able to be here at all, or B, when I will not be able to start on time. This show trajectory is just going too well that I don't think we can do the good old days of I'll see you in July. I don't think we can do that anymore now. We're rolling. We really are getting better. The numbers are looking great, and I just want to keep that trajectory going. And there's no doubt in my mind that Tracy will do a good job. I pick on Tracy all the time, and everybody knows that. But Tracy, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, Tracy does a phenomenal job. And if I didn't think that she was capable of taking over, a chance in the world I would give her my show. My show. Let her mess up my show. But y'all have to remember that Tracy has been doing this way longer than I have.
1 whole year. It's
only been a year.
I'm 1 year ahead of you, and you're what, 35 subscribers ahead of me? So hey, have that worked out.
I don't know anything about that. So Tracy will be taking over in 2 weeks for Radical Truth to Power and Saturday Night Vibe. So Tracy, tell everybody where they can find you.
TracyMediaLLC.com, where I uploaded not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 videos I loaded up. Oh, except for the one in the Patreon wall you can't watch. But all the other ones, yes.
Anna?
BoreliaEtc.com, Borelia etc. on YouTube and Instagram.
I'm pointing that way, and I meant to point that.
It's a thing. Thank you for the show.
Opposite.
See y'all in a couple of weeks. Also, Tracy Friday's show where she rates her top musicals or whatever the topic.
No, that's not the topic. The topic is Schoolhouse Rock songs.
Yeah, she did change it. Top 10.
I changed the part.
I'm gonna try to make.
I'm just gonna do top because I think there's like 50, but like half of them I'm like, nah, I can't let no. Yeah, there are 50 songs in here.
It don't matter as long as the number one is on there.
Look, Marlon, it's not. It's gonna be on the list. There's no guarantee it'll be number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, that is our show for tonight. I appreciate Tracy Carson, Anna Hart, and Piers Robinson in our hearts and souls, and everybody that's doing the show. We will see everybody live again in 2 weeks, and until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace. Let's get the slizzard out of here.
Nobody's gonna say anything about Ted Cruz. Just nobody.
He ain't on